Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics, and if you saw my thumbnail, then you know what this video is. This is my kind of like best of 2022. It's New Year's Eve. Right now it's Saturday. Um, Honestly, this is a weird list for me because this past year was kind of a blur. I know a lot of people are going to be like, this year was horrible, and hey, I'm not homeless. I still have a job. I'm still on YouTube, still picking up comics. I can't really complain. I do have small complaints, of course. I'm human. But going back to stories, of course, for me, I had a 3-month gap where I wasn't really reading or dropping content or on YouTube during my move from Texas to Colorado. Um, and honestly, when I was making this list, I always, it's best of 2022, So it's one of those things where I'm trying to, it's like, what are the guidelines? And for me, it has to be something that started in 2022, and then finished in 2022. And there was a lot, there's a lot of great titles that are out right now, a lot of great indie books that just got started, a lot of DC and Marvel that just got started, but they're not done. So, and there's a lot of stories that start out great and fizzle out, and there's still some ongoing that started like 2021. I can think of I'm not sure if it finished, but Basilisk and like Last House on the Lake just finished right now. But these were some titles that started and ended, and as far as I know, in 2022. Now that we're heading into 2023. And of course, on my list, there's going to be a lot of DC, but for this video, I stayed away from DC. I'm a huge DC fan, and for me, 2022, everything I picked up from DC was phenomenal. There were some standouts, of course, like Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow ended in 2022, but it started in 2021. There is one book that I do have on my list. Well, there's a couple, but there's one book that did start before and did end, but it's at the very end, and you know why. But before I get into my list, let's please like, comment, subscribe. Those comments, man, let me know down below what's your favorite from my list, if you read any of these. I know I always go abstract out of the box, but honestly, these were some of my favorite reads that I enjoyed, that I pride them being in my collection, kind of thing. So I did pick one book from DC, and honestly, I could call off a whole bunch of books, but there was something that started and something that ended in 2022, and for me, that was Dark Crisis. I really enjoyed this event all the way through, all the tie-ins, because I picked up every single one, even other character tie-ins, stuff like that. And yes, there was some okay issues, but all in all, it was a very good read and a complete event for me. And now, of course, these are all like my opinions. I'm not going against anybody. Talking about their opinions. In no form or fashion is there like a 10 to 1 or something like that. I did save the best to last, but if you know my channel, you know what the best is. Come on. But so after Dark Crisis, which was a fantastic read during 2022, we had the second arc of Barbaric from Vault Comics, Axe to Grind. This is the second issue. This was a fantastic, re-entry into Owen the Barbarian, and his buddy the Axe. It was fantastic, and I'm so forward. As far as going into 2023, they said it was going to be the year of Barbaric. They have a ton planned, and I'm really excited, man. Michael Morrissey has been one of my favorite writers over the past few years, so I'm really looking forward to it. So I kind of mentioned that I'm not going to show off a lot of DC or Marvel. This is all indies, guys. But again, some of my favorite reads. But this is from Image Comics. This is James Tynion IV, The Closet. This was a short 3-issue series, and honestly, all the way through, it was pretty good. It had a great middle, end to the story. It was very short, which I like. Sometimes I don't like that, especially if it has a feel for a big, expansive lore. I want more. But no, in this story, it was a pretty good story, a perfect story. Next up from Dark Horse Comics, we have Demons from Scott Snyder. I really enjoyed this story. The art from Greg Capullo, the story from Scott Snyder. It was basically, it's some demon hunters that were, basically going after demons. I mean, it doesn't get no more basic than that. Let me say basic one more time. No, but We Have Demons was nothing but basic. It was fantastic. The art was phenomenal. This was another 3-part series, and it was something that I hope they expand on further. The lore was fantastic, and definitely the humor that was in the book I really enjoyed. Next up from Image Comics, this is Liam Sharp's Starhenge, Book 1, The Dragon and the Boar. This was by far the weirdest read that I read from the year, but that doesn't deter from its storytelling. It was fantastic. I will say that if you do attempt to read this, it is very confusing until you get all 5 issues, so it's probably better to read in trade format. But Liam Sharp always kills it on the art, as you can see on the cover. He does the whole book story and everything, and it was basically a sci-fi medieval tale. It was pretty cool. Next up, a very fantastic read, one that I wasn't sure I was going to be a fan of, but it was phenomenal. This is Image Comics, Public Domain from Chip Zdarsky, and a very simplistic story. It's a 5-issue series, but nonetheless, it was a fantastic read. There's no action, nothing like that. It's just, it's about comic books, and if you're a comic book fan, especially of comic books from the older days, but are still a modern reader, I'm pretty sure this is a book that'll speak to you. It was fantastic. The art, the style, the flow of the book was it was very easy to read. Let's just say that. Now this one's a huge one on my list. Not a lot of people have talked about it. I try and talk about it as much as I can. From Image Comics, this was Above Snakes, a 5-issue series that started in this year. From Sean Lewis and Hayden Sherman. This was fantastic. One of my favorite reads. It was a Western with a kind of fantasy mix to it, because it's about this guy and this bird, but the bird is like a ghost bird. But it was basically a Western, revenge style story, and beginning to end, it was fantastic. It had cliffhangers. It had second guessings involved. It was pretty good. Next up, another one and this one got optioned, and I don't know why. No, it's because it was fantastic. The art was phenomenal. The read was awesome. I'd say the worst thing about this was it was only a 5-issue series, but that is Image Comics Rogues Gallery. Rogues Gallery was phenomenal all the way through. Issues 1 and 2 are kind of like basically the whole story, and then the 5th issue is kind of like the combusted compow of everything that comes together. It was fantastic. Next up, another one that I was late on the jump, but that is a Twig from Image Comics, done by Scotty Young and Kyle Stram. Fortunately, I was able to read this thanks to circumstances. He gifted this first issue. As you can see, the sign, it's pretty dope. But all in all, a family-friendly story that was phenomenal. The art was fantastic, and it's a different style for Scotty Young that I'm aware of. It was a more of a he usually draws in a hand-drawn style, like animated, kind of babyish, and like a younger. This one had a real-world style, like animation to me, and I would actually like to see Twig continued on more. So I think that was 9 books that I've showed you so far. So the very last book, and like I said, it did start in 2021, but it did finish off in 2022. But of course, Image Comics, that's Mirka and Dolpha's Sweet Paprika. Come on, baby, this was from start to end was a fantastic read. It's basically a rom-com with a little twist, but the imagination that's involved, the thinking, the plot twist, the cliffhangers. I am not a huge fan of rom-coms. I don't mind watching rom-com movies. I have seen some shows, but by far this was I hope so much they make this into a show or a movie. I think it would be a great like easy watch or something like that. But Sweet Paprika was definitely my number one read for the list. Now there's some other there's definitely some shout out, some what do they call it? Some definitely some honorable mentions that I'd like to talk about. But I know a lot of people on their list. It's going to be like to do a power bomb, which I did not read. I should have. I love the Daniel Warren Johnson, I think is who did it. But I'm not a wrestling fan, so I passed on it. I know. Trying to think of some other big ones that I just didn't pick up, and it's not due to. I mean, that was like do a powerbomb. I love the art in it, and I've heard that it's more than a wrestling story. Of course, all stories are like that, but it was the whole wrestling aesthetic, and I even like watching wrestling sometimes. I was a big Rock fan, John Cena, that kind of stuff. Undertaker is definitely my dude. But they were just books that I passed on. There was also books that I started and didn't get a chance to finish. Specifically, Valerio was a fantastic beginning to the story, but I haven't finished it. Another one was Rain was another good one that I started but didn't finish. But there's some ongoing that haven't finished that have been fantastic reads outside of DC and Marvel. But of course, Something is Killing the Children for me has been phenomenal all the way through, and even after taking the break and coming back, it was just as good as before. I know a lot of people talk a lot of mess about the spin-off House of Slaughter, but I have enjoyed it all the way through. I know the first arc wasn't necessarily needed to be in your face like that. No, I could have done without it, but did it bother me? Nope, it was still a great read, and so was the second arc. I do prefer the second arc a lot better than the first one, but still, for me, fantastic reads, great art, still in the lore. I love Something That's Killing Children. But another one is Vampirella, and I'm showing Vampirella Year 1, I think issue number 3. It's just a fantastic cover, but I have been a huge fan of Vampirella all throughout 2022. Everything I have read from Vampirella from Year 1, her main series, Vampirella Strikes, Vampirella Mind Warp, everything has been really good. In my eyes, honestly, Dynamite, there's only been a couple series that I've read from Dynamite it just wasn't for me. Everything else has been fantastic. Especially the Garbage Pail. I should have mentioned that, but Garbage Pail's Kids versus Madballs was a good and fun, easy read. Now, like I said, there's a lot of books that just got started that haven't had the chance to finish, so I don't know. And they have fantastic starts. Two Graves, Chroma. Chroma is definitely one of my number ones. And some of these are only 2 issues in. Like Chroma's only 2 issues in. Two Graves. We got Kaya. Kaya has been fantastic as a family-friendly read. I think we're 4 issues in. Hitomi, I haven't read the 3rd issue. I have it, but Hitomi has been good all the way through, and it's another family-friendly one as that's up there. Man, but there has been a lot of fantastic reads for this guy. Honestly, I can't really think of too many bad reads. That would be the real list of what was the bad reads of 2022, and honestly, nothing really comes to mind. There were some okay issues, there were some issues that I had to power through. They were just a little wordy, but I mean, if you're following my reviews and stuff, you can see the excitement I get out of certain books. Those are the ones that you want to keep your eye on. And I can, and some mainline ones, the Alien and Predator franchise from Marvel has been fantastic. Daredevil this past year has been fantastic, with the Punisher as well. Man, Daredevil has been my top Marvel read, I'll tell you that. Let's see, Spider-Man is getting back on track. It has been pretty good so far, and this guy right here has been enjoying Dark Web so far. Let's see, DC. Everything DC has been good. No, but my top reads from DC, and I just kind of revealed it, but the ones I get real excited that we're getting a new issue on is like GCPD. The Blue Wall has been outstanding. You talk about something that's breaking walls and pushing down barriers. That book is. Another one is, and it's a book that I didn't like at first, but there's a Let's see, Gotham City Year One. Oh my God, with this third issue, you talk about being all in on a book. Tom King is killing it. I don't know, hey guys, but that's my list. Let me know if you read any of these, you passed any of those up. What did you think about my list? I know I'm drawing gaps, and I had to go back and even look at my reviews during the last year to help me figure out what had officially begun and finished in 2022. Hey, but that's this guy's list. Those are these guys' opinions. Let me know your opinions down below. What did you think about my list? Did you read any of them? Let me know. All right, guys, I want to wish everybody a happy New Year's. I want to, man, thank you all for being subscribed, for, I mean, the moments that you spend with this guy here. It really does, you know, bring a special smile to my face that nothing else in this world can. I want to say comics might be second, but being able to talk about something that I'm passionate about with people that actually want to listen to me, that to me is the biggest gift that I ever received since I started YouTube. But hey guys, I want to let y'all go. Y'all be safe out there. Please don't do anything dumb. Just enjoy the end of this, you know, year. Go into this new year with just, you know, the same feeling that you're going right now. Just know that it's gonna be a better year because Evil Mike said so. Yeah, all right. Bye.